Hello, welcome to the Marketplace. Coming up this afternoon, Africa's biggest salt refinery to kickstart operations in August 2024. We'll hear more from the Executive Board Chairman of McKorley Group, Dr. Daniel McKorley.
August, it should be up and running. We're building a port. I hope he had told you. We're building a port here. Luckily, this is a product, the demand is very high.
Also coming up, Ben's oil palm plantation upbeat about the prospects of the business despite a shortfall in production.
Our total consumption of palm oil and palm oil related products like vegetable cooking oil stands at about 450,000 metric tons per annum. But our own production stands at about just 300,000 with a gap of 150,000.
Also, Ghana unable to generate enough foreign exchange through exports, contributing to depreciation of the cedi. We hear from country managing partner Deloitte Ghana, Daniel Kojo-Wusu.
Problem is that we don't have enough reserves in terms of USD to support the cedi, and also because of our over-dependence on imported goods. So people are looking for the USD to go and import things.
My name is Darrell Kwao. Thanks for being with us. Details coming up. And first up, Executive Board Chairman at McKorley Group, Dr. Daniel McKorley, has disclosed that the company's refinery will kickstart processing of refined salt in commercial quantities in August this year. Dr. McKorley emphasized that commitment of the company to engage off-takers in its operations both domestically and internationally during an industrial tour by the Association of Ghana Industries at Electrochem in Ada.
Members of the Association of Ghana Industries recently visited Electrochem, a subsidiary of the McKorley Group specializing in industrial salt production in Ada. The tour aimed to give AGI members a first-hand look at Electrochem's operations. In a welcoming speech, Dr. Daniel McKorley, the executive chairman of the McKorley Group, highlighted the company's commitment to collaborating with future buyers or off-takers of their refined salt as the company's refinery is set to kickstart operation in August this year.
And the interesting thing which is about happening is sodium batteries. Elon Musk, as we speak, is using the Chile salt mine, producing battery for the Tesla engines. And this is environmentally friendly, sustainable. You've seen it by yourself. So we're not going to retail, we're going to sell to retailers and wholesalers. Yes. So this is a big factory. We're building one of the biggest refineries in Africa. August, it should be up and running. We're building a port. I hope he had told you. We're building a port here. Luckily, this is a product, the demand is very high. When we finish the port and the refinery, we're going to produce for industry. Last week, we were at the Atlantic Farmer. 90% of their raw material is salt, sodium chloride. You get 14,000 uses from salt. So what you say, you're very right. We're going to put out the refinery. Those will produce in jumbo bags for export and local consumption.
The Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the AGI, Chonam Akpelu, emphasized the importance of supporting and promoting large Ghanaian-owned businesses.
The only way we can take advantage of the African Union Continental Free Trade area is when we promote the construction of large businesses in Ghana. Our hope is that the members that we're bringing along will learn from what's happening here, the innovation, but also very importantly, take advantage of the networking opportunity to be able to be part of the supply chain that the company has established. And so part of the plan is to allow our businesses to take advantage of this visitation to ensure that they are able to annex some business opportunity for themselves.
Boasting a 41,000-acre concession at Adasongo, Electrochem has the capacity to produce a staggering 1 million metric tons of salt per year for both domestic and international market. The AGI members gain valuable first-hand experience in the various processes involved in salt mining.
Now, Benso Oil Palm Plantation is upbeat about the prospects of the business despite a shortfall in production. General Manager of the company, Samuel Avala Awonia, and Chairman Dr. Alfred Mahmoud Brahima have been sharing critical insights with Joy Business on the challenges, opportunities, and the way forward for Ghana's oil palm industry. Correspondent Inathalia Kwanzaa has more.
At recent stakeholders meeting, the general manager of Benso Oil Palm Plantation, Samuel Avala Awene, speaking to Joy Business about the ongoing challenges and opportunities within Ghana's palm oil industry, had this to say.
We are in the primary side of production, and this is real production that contributes to GDP. It's been a long-standing issue that when you take palm oil and what it is used for, Ghana is a net importer. In other words, our total consumption of palm oil and palm oil-related products like vegetable cooking oil stands at about 450,000 metric tons per annum. But our own production stands at about just 300,000 with a gap of 150,000. And to produce that 150,000, which is the gap, you need about 5 of our size to be able to meet that. So there's been no, if you like, issue about market for our product. So that gives us the assurance that we have a business that goes to the very core of food safety and food nutrition of the Ghanaian people. So that is the kind of business we are in. Over the years, we've been expanding gradually, not at the pace that we would have loved to do because of certain factors. And the factors are many. Some are regulatory and policy, some are external, even to our own economy.
Despite the gap, there is a guaranteed market for these products, underscoring their importance to food safety and nutrition in Ghana. Over the years, Benso Oil has been expanding its operations slowly due to regulatory and economic factors. Chairman and Non-Executive Director Dr. Alfred Mahmoud Brahima, also addressing the stakeholders, provided insight into the broader economic context.
Domestic macroeconomic conditions experienced a gradual recovery in economic activity, though growth remains below potential. But of course, it's in the upward trajectory, just that our desired targets probably are not being met as we would want. Beginning of the year, the disinflation process started, i.e. with the inflation coming down. And this continued through the last quarter of the year, supported by strong policies, relative exchange rate stability, and effective liquidity sterilization. Headline inflation suddenly dropped or decelerated to 23.2% in December 2023 from a peak of 54.1 at the end of December 2022. Clear indication that the macroeconomic environment started witnessing some improvements. During the year under review, ladies and gentlemen, the world market price of crude palm oil experienced a dip, decreasing from an average of $12.40 in December in 2022 to an average of $9.43 in 2023. I need to make a very clear statement here that the pricing of our product is largely driven by the pricing of the product on the global market.
Benso Oil Palm Plantation's commitment to bridging the production gap is a vital step towards ensuring food security in Ghana. With continued support and strategic investment, Ghana can work towards self-sufficiency in palm oil production. For Joy Business in Athalia, Kwanza, Western Region.
Now, Bono Regional Director of Agriculture, Dennis Abugri-Amenga, says they are collaborating with the World Food Programme and Abimbev Foundation in a project to support and enhance maize production of 2,100 smallholder farmers in 3 regions. Speaking at a sensitization program in Sunyani for the production of quality maize for industries, Mr. Amenga said the project is expected to transform the agriculture system in the country and improve the livelihoods of farmers. Precious Semevo has more.
World Food Program for
We look forward to the World Food Program helping us with medicine to protect our maize against the 4 army worms, and the roads to cut the maize are also bad. Some of the challenges that impact maize production by smallholder farmers in Wenchi and Tyne in the Bono region. To help address these and other constraints, the Bono Regional Agricultural Directorate, in partnership with the World Food Programme and the Abimbev Foundation, is running a pilot project aimed at supporting smallholder farmers to enhance maize production. At a day's sensitization program in Sunyani, with other stakeholders including farmers, aggregators and other players, to understand the activities to achieve the objectives of quality maize for beer production. Director of Agriculture in the region, Dennis Abugri-Amenga, says the project is expected to improve the livelihoods of 2,100 farmers and advance the agricultural system.
The Abimbev project seeks to support farmers to enhance their productivity, reduce post-harvest losses, facilitate access to input and credit, which at the long run it is expected that it will increase the income and livelihood of farmers, and by so transforming the agriculture system in Ghana. The type of maize that you wish to sell or produce depend on the purpose for it. We are targeting 2,100 farmers, because of the quality issues that is required at this level. It is expected that at the end of the season, we should be able to produce up to the quality expectation or quality standards of close to 5,500 metric tons, for ABL in the country this year.
Meanwhile, Director of Food Systems, World Food Programme Ghana, Stephen Odaite-Fio, says the government should focus more on empowering private sector agribusinesses to accelerate agricultural transformation.
When government comes in and steps in empowering smallholder farmers, there's a reduction of an incentive to produce at the commitment and the hard work required, because you are not really accountable and because you feel the money can be washed away and you can get away with it. But when we bring in the private sector, they also want to ensure that they are able to guarantee the produce from you. So they'll do whatever it takes to invest in you to be able to produce to that quality. And that is why government must continue to rather empower specific aggregators, specific agribusinesses that are in the business of working with smallholder farmers. And that's where government can reduce its burden of finance to the industry by relying on the private sector to lead that transformation.
Precious Semevo, Joy Business, Sunyani.
Now, data from the Bank of Ghana has revealed that the Ghana cedi has depreciated by about 14.6% to the US dollar as of May 2024. The country managing partner, Deloitte Ghana, Daniel Kojo-Usu, has noted most of Ghana's export earnings in dollars do not find their way into the domestic economy, thereby putting pressure on the local currency. He spoke to Joy Business at the CEO Summit in Accra.
In the past, we saw some relative stability, but we've recently seen that the exchange rate has started moving in the other way. And I think if you see the room, every conversation is around the exchange rate and the movement of the exchange rate. And you see the conversation all will come down to that. So for us, we think we are still not out of the woods yet. And it's simply because the way we see it is that sometimes the solutions that we are professing are not the solutions that will give us a permanent answer to the problems that we have. And I will give you some typical example. So when you look at Ghana, our balance of trade is very good. So our balance of trade represents how much we export as against how much we import. So when we talk about balance of trade, it's been positive. In fact, 2021 was about $1.1 billion. 2022 was about $2.8 billion. 2023 was about $2.6 billion. So if we look at it, we export more. But I think the fundamental thing is that what we export, not all the earnings comes into Ghana. So when you look at that, what is the problem with the exchange rate? The problem is that we don't have enough reserves in terms of USD to support the cedi. And also because of our over-dependence on imported goods. So people are looking for the USD to go and import things. And we don't have the reserves. And so there's always pressure on getting dollars, and that is what kicks the prices. But if you check it, trading-wise, we export more than we import, so we should have been fine. But structurally, when you look at it, the actors of the economy that earns those dollars, a lot of it do not return to Ghana. And so when you don't have it coming back to Ghana, then you have a problem with that shortfall. And then you also want to need more dollars to import, because everything, the household, everything depends on dollar. And I think that is why that has become the conversation every day. And you see the banter that is going on there. So for me, I think we need to find a permanent solution. Now, the permanent solution is also to look at the structure of our economy. So we have to have Ghanaian multinationals. So we have to have it in such a way that when things are exported, because I've made the point that we export more in total in terms of trade than we import. So that shouldn't have been a problem. But when we import, significant part should be coming down to Ghana. And I think you don't get that solution within a policy change. You get that by taking policies, gradual changes over a period of time, and making sure that you have multinationals. You have turned the ownership of the economy into Ghanaians such that when we export, the funds will come down and it will show up the cedi. So fundamentally, I think the problem is that we understand where the issue is, but the solution that we are professing has always become short-term. And because it's short-term, it will give you the solution temporarily, and then the problem will start escalating again.
Deloitte country manager there, Daniel Kojo, was speaking to Joy Business. You're watching The Marketplace. Let's Talk Tech is up next. All right, starting us off, Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, Dr. Engineer Kenneth Ashibwe, is calling for more accommodative regulatory regime to support the development of digital public infrastructure in Ghana and Africa. According to him, this will maximize opportunities for digitalization to support the SDGs and reduce the risks that digital technologies may bring.
So we have gathered here today on the final day of the 3i Summit, 3i Africa Summit. We are proud to present MT4D 2024, dealing with the digital public infrastructure track. An opportunity to harness the power of mobile technology for sustainable development. Together, let us explore new horizons, forge meaningful partnerships, and pave the way for a brighter future for Ghana and the continent Africa. We're grateful to the Bank of Ghana, who has offered us the opportunity to host this track, bearing most of the cost, and to our other sponsors, Huawei Technologies Ghana, Telecel Cash, People's Pension, Gibbs, and ZP. We are grateful for your continued support. As we welcome you to MT4D 2024, we are also preparing for MT4D 2025 next year, an event that will be championed by FIFA and the EMI Chamber of Ghana. For today, let us enjoy and contribute to developing Africa and Ghana's digital public infrastructure to ensure that we carry all Africans on this journey of financial inclusion and the development of our continent. Thank you for being part of this transformative journey.
So that was at the 3i Africa Summit a couple of weeks ago, and we'll speak of digital infrastructure. The government of Ghana has announced its partnership with 7 industry players on a new shared infrastructure to deliver affordable 5G mobile broadband services across the country. The 7 partners are Ascend Digital, KNet, Radisys, Nokia, and Tech Mahindra, as well as 2 telcos, 80 Ghana and Telecel Ghana. The Communications Minister, Eslo Kufu, is quoted as saying the creation of the shared 5G mobile broadband infrastructure is critical for delivering affordable, high-speed data access. Lead for Eyes of Africa, Henry Kobler, joins me to discuss this. So, Henry, the government partnering 7 industry players on a new shared infrastructure to deliver 5G. It looks like we are making some progress there.
Thank you very much, Dario. So yes, we're making some level of progress, even though it's long overdue. I think that the partnership comes in to definitely bring in some level of upgrade to the infrastructure of the digital platforms which we sort of have, and could make a better use of what we actually put in place in terms of policy guidelines and in terms of infrastructure to be able to support most of the digital platforms that people are sort of building to sort of enhance the improvement of our digital space in Ghana. I think that it's long overdue, but them coming together, I mean, if you're looking at Ascend's contribution to the industry, if you're looking at KNet, which has been in existence for quite some time, and then Nokia, relatively with that quality infrastructure worldwide coming in terms of this partnership. And then you have the Indians also coming in, and then you have the 2 telecoms in Ghana coming on board as well to definitely be able to broad spectrum it to customers. I think that it's a way in the right direction, and it should rather be embraced.
Yeah, tell us a bit more about how this benefits our economy if we're able to deliver 5G.
I mean, all these companies coming together now come to possibly put in as one company, which would definitely be called the next gen infrastructure company. And so they sort of come into put across the infrastructure that enhances the internet possibilities for almost all the digital platforms that are available to us here in Ghana. And I think that they're sort of looking at deploying this in the next 6 months. And then after that, to be able to even deploy to other African countries as well. And generally, when we're looking at the internet possibilities, I mean, it's endless. And the quality of the internet, and as much as possible, also the cost of the internet is much important. And so if they're coming in to put in the infrastructure, service it, and be able to broadcast it to customers, and it comes at a very affordable rate, and also to be able to have the quality of internet. I mean, I think that it benefits almost every industry. I mean, the healthcare, the education sector, the fintech industry, almost everybody sort of depending on the internet infrastructure now. I mean, when we had the blackout on the internet, I mean, almost every business out of had to come to a halt. And so that's just because of internet. I mean, it's a very top security infrastructure that we actually looking at. And so it basically benefits almost everywhere. Now healthcare is sitting on lines of the internet. I mean, people are not just being issued pharmacy papers again. I mean, you just have to walk to a pharmacy and your details and everything is sitting on the internet. And so it sits at a very core part of our lifestyle now. And I think that it's a bigger headway in the infrastructure that they sort of come in. And I'm looking at the partners that are coming together. I think that there's some level of quality that is going to come from there as well.
Oh, well, let's address the elephant in the room, shall we? The fact that MTN Ghana, a major player in the telecom sector, was not named amongst the 7 partners. Leaves you wondering.
I mean, for my information, I mean, just doing a bit of digging around, I could understand that MTN sort of always has to do its own negotiations directly with government, because if you're looking at the partners that are coming here together, it makes sense to say, okay, we can do it ourselves, especially when you also have almost about 60 to 70% of the market share in terms of data and call. And definitely you would always want to just have some level of control when you sort of put in this infrastructure. And I think that MTN has the wings enough to definitely do this and even beyond. I mean, if you must recall, they had already made this call way before the partnerships had actually come into place. And so MTN was already geared for this already, and I think that it's a call in the right direction if they get into a separate agreement with government, and they can be able to put up their own infrastructure and have total control of their infrastructure. I mean, if all of the major telecoms are all sitting on the same network and there's a blackout, you can understand how it's going to be. And especially when almost about 60 to 70% of it is sitting with them, they would always want to have control of it. And so I think it makes sense if they're sort of not part of this partnership, but always has they have the ability to put in this infrastructure as well and have some level of alternative infrastructure that serves their customers as well. I think that it doesn't really call for panic. I believe MTN would have basically always come in. I don't think that NTA would have already stifle the growth of MTN already, understanding that they sort of have the majority share and sort of play some level of monopoly in the industry. They sort of would have their own terms to come up with.
All right, Henry Kobler, lead Eyes of Africa. Thank you so much for joining us for Let's Talk Tech. I appreciate your time, as always. And that's it for the marketplace. There is more news on our website, nigeriaonline.com/business. We'll leave you with Money Lab for today.
Hello, welcome to Money Lab. My name is McKorley, Head of New Business Advisory at Enterprise Trustees. On our last episode, we discussed into detail the three-tier pension scheme in Ghana. Today, we will be discussing how to take advantage of this three-tier pension scheme in order to save adequately for retirement. Under the National Pensions Act 2008, Act 766, workers in Ghana can now contribute up to 35% of their basic salary to their pensions and not pay income tax on those contributions. This gives the workers a great opportunity to save for their retirement. To fully take advantage of this three-tier pension scheme, ensure your employer is paying the mandatory Tier 1 and Tier 2 contributions. Encourage your employer to set up a provident fund for all your staff under the Tier 3, and make a personal commitment to your future by signing up to the personal pension scheme. Until we come your way again on our next episode of Money Lab, please remember to plan well.